we're going to fight hard each and every day, no matter what hit pieces come our way, no matter who tries to take us down. We're going to fight, fight, fight.
The story of America is the story of an adventure that began with deep faith, big dreams, and humble beginnings.
At certain times when it seemed that there was just no hope, those are the times that turned out to be the best.
Never, ever give up. America is beginning a new chapter.
Yes. Welcome, everybody, to MAGA versus the world, your one-stop shop for kicking ass and, I don't know, pretty much just kicking ass.
We break the internet every time. Welcome, everybody. We love you.
Yeah. We got cool shit lined up for today. I guess we always do. It's going to be fun. That was an adventure right there. Definitely if you're Yellowstone, even that was considered a safe distance, they said. And so everyone's saying that guy did nothing wrong. So that was just an asshole bison.
As far as I saw it, if I was walking by and I was him, I'd be like, oh yeah, he's just rubbing in the ash. Okay, keep going. Oh, you know what I mean? Why are you coming after me? That's awesome.
Oh man, classic. He's okay, so that's why we can laugh about it, obviously.
Yes, he survived.
So, babe, I guess we have a pretty interesting show. There's a few new developments from some recent breakdowns that we've given, so that's always fun to revisit a little bit of that. There's a fourth tranche of UFO disclosure that's come out. They are just ramping up. And, of course, QComs. Also Thursday, too. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen Thursday, but I'm looking forward to that. I think that's ramping up to be pretty sweet.
Yeah, everything that Trump's doing, if it's not the big explosion we want, if you look back over time, you just see that slowly he's just changed it to awesome. Because I was thinking about that, with the UFO tranches being released and these things. If I would have went back 5 years and said, the government's going to actually declassify actual videos and have it set up through the Department of War. Yeah, it's going to change to the Department of War and they're going to put out videos and all that stuff. I'd be like, what? But since it's happened a little gradual like that, it's less of a shock, which I think is intentional. And man, this is great. This is such a great time to be alive. I'm so psyched. I'm so excited.
Yeah, me too. And again, I say it's super fun to go through. There's so much just happening that it's that's actually becoming a side note, but we'll go through them. This one's been loving them. So I've been getting some cool reports on them all. And, I geek out about this sort of stuff right here.
Yeah.
Energy Department celebrating another win for the American nuclear renaissance. Okay, so this is going to be a throwback. 4 nuclear reactors reaching criticality by the 4th of July. Freaking awesome, dude. And so as you guys remember, last month, we had discussed the celebration of 2 small modular reactors reaching criticality. The Idaho lab facility where President Trump has excelled the push for new advancements in nuclear tech. The first project was tested at the dome, if you will, in Idaho. And that was the Antares Nuclear Mark Zero. Okay, it was Antares Nuclear with their Mark Zero reactor. The Antares Nuclear's Mark Zero reactor is a sodium heat pipe cooled micro reactor, and they reached criticality on June 4th, 2026. So that was about a month early. They had a 1-year deadline of July 4th. And we'll talk about that in a second too. The second one was project, which was in Utah, was called the Valor Atomics, and it's with their Ward 250 reactor. So
they're just different kinds and different types. This is fun.
There's actually 11 different programs that have started to do this, and
Wow.
already 4 of them have reached criticality in 1 year. Insane. And this one is a high temperature gas cooled microreactor, and they reached criticality on June 18th. So those are the 2 that we had covered. But
Okay.
since that episode, there have been 2 more.
Dang.
So the next one that happened in the interim was Deployable Energy, and with their Unity reactor, which reached criticality on July 1st. And then we also have ALO Atomics with their ALO X reactor, which is a sodium-cooled reactor who reached criticality right on the 4th of July. So the Trump administration,
Wow.
they had set a goal with Executive Order 14301 and the Department of Energy's reactor pilot program, which was announced shortly after that in 2025. And this goal was to have at least 3 by July 4th of 2026 this year. And they surpassed it. Now they had 4 that have reached. So they surpassed that goal. And that goal is already insane. This was considered a moonshot by many in the nuclear community last year. And they really weren't wrong to feel this way. Historically speaking, I was looking into this, and traditional nuclear reactor testing and licensing in the United States has routinely taken 10 to 15 years from concept to first criticality. And the last new reactor criticalities in the U.S. are decades ago, the early 90s. And since 1990, we've only built 6 nuclear power plants in the United States, and 4 of them were still Gen 2. We only have 2 Generation 3 reactors in the entire country, and they were just built a couple of years ago. So this leap to Gen 4 small modular reactors is going to be transformative. I don't think we could all fully grasp the scope of what's happening right now.
No.
Love it.
Think about this, because remember, the whole idea with us progressing and having these technologies is we need the electricity to run it. We need the energy to run it. We have the abilities, we have the AI centers and this and that. But until, like what we were watching about that Rumble thing, until they can, what is the word? Not capture, but acquire the energy they need to run their facility. They said it's just like a sitting pile of metal. Right? They can't run. Yeah. But when you can acquire the amount of electricity that you need, and you have for sure it's supplied, you made that deal, then you're good to go. You're off to the races. What they found was why we couldn't be ahead of this AI race and these things is we just didn't have enough power in our grid.
Yeah.
And so this, Brad, I'll turn it back to you, but I had to look because, I'm not so much, I just don't know as much about this. So I wanted to know, what is the meaning when you reach criticality? Like, what does that even mean? So it says in nuclear physics and engineering, reaching criticality means a nuclear material. So whatever they're using, because Brad mentioned there's different kinds. There's the sodium ones, but there's these other ones. A nuclear material has achieved a self-sustaining chain reaction. Free energy. Pretty much.
It's the first major step.
A self-sustaining. So nothing's making it happen. They have achieved. So it's this. It's
you
going.
need to feed it. You do need to feed it. But yeah, that's
you do need to feed
that
it.
It's working. Basically, this is the we got it to work step, and we're properly cooling it. That's one of the major things. And dude.
But yeah, that's just crazy. I had to understand what that was. So sorry, but yeah, that's just wild.
Well, you're pretty much right, because from what I understand is they last for a long time once they get going. Some of these you don't even have to refuel for. This is something we were talking about when we were originally talking about this. I think it was like years sometimes.
Yeah.
So it is almost self-sustaining. You're right, I guess. But it, not fully, but it's probably as close to it as we can get. And this is happening due to the Trump administration. Well, 100%. Typically, I was looking up, full NRC licensing was very slow. As we were talking about, it takes a long time. It's an expensive process. It took years of environmental reviews, public hearings, safety analysis, basically everyone getting their cut. That's all that is. there was a massive upfront capital risk with no certain path on this. Again, you don't know. It's not like you're getting this program, you're going through all these things to build something that works. You have to do all that just for the right to spend the insane amount of money to see if it works. Might not even work. So you go through all that for 10 years, spend an insane amount of money, and then, man, that didn't even work. We have to go back to the drawing board. That's why no one's been doing it for decades. Okay? So hence, something like theirs would typically take 15 years. Trump streamlined all this by creating an alternative path through the Department of Energy. So the DOE has provided facilities. Places like the Dome and Race were made quickly available, so they weren't starting from scratch at these new sites. They have these functional sites where they could go and are made specifically to work on stuff like this.
That's nice.
And again, all the red tape was cut, and boom, 1 year in, and we got 4 programs that have reached criticality, with some estimates of saying 5 more of them on deck to reach it by the year's end. So you could have 9. I think there's 11 originally going. And now, basically, the next step now for the ones who have reached criticality is continue to gather data as they gradually increase power output, test heat removal, electrical generation for the designs equipped for it, and operational procedures. At this pace, we could have 1 to 3 of these up and running by early 2028. So a nuclear program started and implemented inside a single presidential term. That is completely unprecedented and shocking, to be honest. And
no pun intended, shocking.
Yeah, shocking.
Go on.
Well, yeah, just one final note is that they take up so much less space. Like, technically, if you're putting a huge Gen 3, the Generation 3 nuclear power plants are basically a really fine-tuned version of the Generation 2, right? And most of them are Generation 2. I believe we have 90-something Generation 2s throughout the United States and 2 Generation 3s. And again, we're just building like 2024 and 2025 or something like that. But if you take those, so those are large footprints, right? Picture a nuclear power plant. If you were to take the space that it takes to build a massive, say, Gen 3 power plant, and were to fill it with these small modular reactors, you could triple your output of energy. If you put it up against a Gen 2 reactor, okay, which is 94 of 96, there are currently, you could get up to 5 times the output. So this is massive. I mean, nuclear power plants are already the gold standard for output, and you're telling me you're going to triple this? Well, really 5 times, because again, we only have Gen 2. So you're really going to go 4 to 5 times the amount of energy with these. And since they are a more compact, you could put them on the back of truck beds and move them places, and there's just, it changes the whole freaking game right now,
dude. Energy renaissance. Straight up.
Yeah,
because even if people aren't for, let's say people aren't for the electric cars, whatever, here's the thing. The big thing is they were taking so much energy from the grid, it couldn't handle it. If you're telling me now we're going to flop on over to a new type of energy production, we're gonna have excess electricity, guys. Also, costs should go way the frick down. Like, this could be really big. This could be big.
And what are one of the things, right? With gas and oil, especially since he opened up so much oil production, and I hope some refineries, I should look into that. I hope they're also building gas refineries, because that's a big step of the process that a lot of people don't think of, that to really reaching cheaper gas prices. But a lot of that is used for many, many things, right? Like you're saying, vehicles, although I still think you'll never beat a gas vehicle. So I think those are here to stay. But a lot of factories run on this. There's also power plants that run on this. The more you can, if you have a renaissance in nuclear technology, now you can alleviate some of that pressure. It kind of lowers the demand a little bit. And then all of a sudden that can start, and, it obviously is going to get gas prices down now, but we're talking about like significant changes in the whole system 5-10 years out from now. So he's also setting the groundwork for real lasting change, not this, oh, my policy brings it up here, your policy brings it down there, and then we're fighting this, and you brought it all the way up here, so I'm slowly trying to bring it down. You could just have like a permanent jump, at least to some level, if you alleviate a lot of that need for it right here at home, while also increasing the production, or at least mining, drilling for it here at home. Huge things happening right now.
Yeah. And energy. Hold on. Energy. I had to write this down.
What is this energy?
Basically, the global elites had us by our balls. Okay. Let's be honest about it. Let's just be honest about it. The war is for energy, the energy war. Who can have it? Who are we dependent on a different country providing the things that give us energy, the oil, the gas, whatever? It doesn't matter. Trump knows this. These are strategic moves against the global cabal, just straight up. There's no way this is not. Okay. And then him having the strength. I didn't even know there was all these hindrances on these nuclear things coming. You know, freaking 15 years. Who even has time for that? Like, so with all that kind of bull crap removed, it's like we can actually continue forward. We can actually start using. And I did think about the electric cars because, I don't know if you might still have more to finish with this segment, but
That's mostly the big update. Yeah, I'm just gonna look at this, and then I'll look at this article too after that. But
mine's just a little side note.
I love the Abby side quest.
Okay, this is just a side note. If we all have a bunch of electricity at our fingertips because there's just so much of it, you said 5 times the amount. Well, maybe why can't we then have these things?
Yes. It's probably so freaking dangerous, but I want one anyway.
This is a very intense side note, but my whole point is, so these guys, they keep a charge for 20 minutes, but they are charging ones. If we continue this realm of being able to create more energy and store more energy efficiently, we can all think about this. Think about people going over to New York and they have to wait in traffic for billions of hours. Going over.
Or too familiar.
Everybody has their parking lots. Look, this is exactly what it looked like. Just don't get chopped. But I just thought, that's my mind where it goes. It's like, and those are called the Jetsons, by the way. So I thought that was wonderful.
You need like parachutes or something, though. I don't know. It's like every crash, every single car crash or crash with that or anything that fails, like you're dead.
The first question,
there has to be some sort of fail safe first, right?
Yeah. Well, that's what somebody wrote underneath here. Oh, I don't see it now, but they're like, Grok, when you reach 20 minutes, you just free fall from the sky. Does this include parachutes? But yeah, I mean, but the idea is like, of course, we're at the beginning stages, right? 20 minutes, that's not much. But as we continue and we have more energy at our fingertips, we can use that to make more things, create, energy unlocks everything. It just unlocks everything. And people are able to create, and they're not limited by money to own the energy. So I think that's what Trump's really trying to do, which is awesome.
Very.
When have we ever had a president like that, guys? Like never, at least in my lifetime that I have experienced. I'm 38, Brad? Never. Presidents mean, what are they going to do now that's going to make life harder for us? That's literally what that meant, at least when I was around.